Hey guys, so in this video we're gonna try to add a bow to one of our characters. So there's this character here called the Dark Knight, and he's supposed to uh, have a bow attached to him and have animations that work with the bow. So let me play the game first. And you can see now in the battle editor I can load my game where this guy is available, and I can give him a bow currently, which is cool, but it's not going to work. So let's just see how it works in the game right now. Because thing is, I know that he doesn't have animations, and as you can see, the bow and arrows and everything is all attached wrong, and it's just not working at all, right? So let's have a look at the things we need to do first. So like the first thing we need to do is we need to define the sockets for this character. And so I know that this character has some sockets, but because this character has a very special skeleton, which is different than my other skeletons, because it's an older character, it has a special socket for bow, it has a special socket for quiver, and it has a special socket for arrow that is also being animated, but the names are not matching my other characters. So this is my fault, but like it will be helpful for you to learn too, because you might have different sockets and different props, and you might be facing similar problems. So let's have a look here. I have my weapons, and they're all defined in this data table. And those weapons, such as bow, they consist of 3 blueprints, and those blueprints are being attached to those sockets. You can see bow is being attached to weapon L, bow quiver to quiver, dagger to dagger. So those are the kind of sockets this script is going to be looking for. So right now I don't have quiver and dagger. I have, in this skeleton, I have a weapon quiver and weapon dagger. So what I should probably do in this case, I should probably just create a socket under weapon arrow and create a socket under weapon quiver, and I'll just rename it quiver, and I'll just rename it arrow. Okay. And so like right now I can't really see anything because I'm in the skeleton, which is not the best idea. What I should probably do, I'll save it, but what I should probably do is I should be in the skeletal mesh for this guy. So Dark Knight, and I'll just go to the skeletal mesh. I can also do it there if I, not the skeletons here, I can probably put it there. There you go. So there's this also problem here, that the bow here is different than this weapon L. It's a different socket, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a custom socket here. I'm going to name that socket under weapon bow because, you know, by default this weapon is looking for weapon L, quiver, and, oh, dagger. Wait, what? Oh, I guess that's what it's looking for. It's not really looking for the arrow. Let's see. Does he even have a dagger? I don't think he has a dagger. Okay, we'll just ignore the dagger for now. Weapon dagger. He has a dagger. Perfect. So I'm just going to add a socket here and call it dagger. Dagger. There you go. Sorry for all the confusion, guys, but I'm trying to work it out as I go. So arrow, we don't need the arrow. I lied to you. So I'm just going to delete the arrow. Arrow socket is not needed. Delete. Delete. Okay, so quiver. So if you want to see things in action here, we can just basically attach a static mesh to it. Quiver. So there it is. There's my quiver. And it seems like the quiver is not matching rotationally at all with the socket, which is because it's also an older character and has a different sets of props. So what I can do, I can just rotate this 90 degrees, this socket. It would be nice if I could somehow see the values of it, details. Yeah, so I'll just do minus 90. I think that's what it needs to be. There you go, there's the quiver. The clipping you don't have to worry about for now. So that's the quiver. Then we have the bow. So we have the dagger. So the dagger is going to be on the side here. So you can also attach a preview asset dagger. And then that dagger is also going to be all wrong. So you need to rotate it 90 degrees like this, I believe. Minus 90. No. For some reason this is not really working too well. Okay, well let's just keep going here. Let's see what happens. And then we have the weapon bow socket. So I'm gonna just name it bow. Let's just name it bow. And that bow is gonna have a bow under it. So add preview mesh bow. And I want to just use the bow wooden. That one. Yeah, it also has the same problem. It's just not properly rotated. I think they're all like rotated 90 degrees for some reason. Alright, so that's looking better. So let's see if this now, if I play an idle on him, if this is gonna work. So if you go to preview scene, you can go the default, use specific animation, and I can use idle weapons, and we can see that he has his quiver working, he has his bow working. For some reason, he doesn't have that dagger in the right spot. And I'm kind of curious why that is. So let's, maybe he's not supposed to have a dagger. Maybe that was never defined. Let's see if he even has an animation. Bow. He doesn't really have an animation attack close when he is with the bow. So that's the problem. Like this character just, because you know, other characters they pull out the dagger and they stab the enemy, right? But in this case, he doesn't have that. So let's see what kind of attacks he has. Because like when he's close to the enemy, you want him to basically attack differently. Because like he's not gonna shoot a bow from like right next to the enemy. He needs to do something like this, right? Like an attack. But then the problem with that is that he is not using that dagger right now. So we can do something like just add a special animation or like change the dagger. Now, if we put a dagger in his hand, then he's going to be shooting the bow with a dagger in his hand. So it's a little bit complicated here what we want to do and what we can actually do. I feel like just having the dagger closer to his hip is not going to hurt no matter what we do. So let's just, for now, just grab that dagger and like we can just clean this. So I want this dagger to be kind of like more like attached to his side and sitting there. And like I don't really care that it's not being used at this stage. I might fix it later in some logical way. Very smart blueprinty way, but for now I just want this dagger to be there and that's all. So that's looking fine to me. Alright, so he has the quiver, he has the bow. Now if we play like a specific animation, shoot. Why is not playing? Play. Yeah, see, so he's gonna shoot that bow. It's maybe not the best animation, but it works. The dagger is kind of drifting around a little bit. Not a fan of what it's doing there. And then I feel like this socket should be more attached to the leg rather than the pelvis. Because like we want it to follow that leg. So why don't we just take that and put that dagger underneath his leg instead. Thigh air. Let's put it under there and see what happens. So what that did, it kind of snapped it to that bone right now, which is not great. We also want to be in gizmo, so we want it in a local mode. Okay, so let's just rotate it. and place it there. Let's just attach it to his leg there. Let's see if that's gonna work. So let's play this animation now. Yes, you see that works way better, right? Okay, so we defined the socket. So let's save this. And now this is going to be looking for sockets, but it's going to be looking for weapon L for that bow wooden. And like I can change it here to be like bow, whatever. But the thing is that I have other characters using the bow, and this is not going to be pretty because they're all going to get broken. So luckily I created a function that I can change my sockets for the characters. So all the character blueprints, they're inheriting from base character blueprint. And this is the override socket function here. So I can just do socket, and I can just switch on name. And basically, if my socket name is weapon L, then I want to return. So default is going to be the same. But if it's weapon L, then I would just want to return bow. Okay. So that will then override it for that particular character. So if I just go launch it now, if I start the battle, he should have his sockets in the right places. And for some reason, things are rotated. So it sounds like our previews are not lined up with what's actually going on. It would be nice if you could preview a blueprint, but you can't really. But like if you have a look at your weapons, so first of all, like bow wood in the static mesh is actually rotated 270. Yeah, so that's a problem. So if you want to see the real deal, in here you have to also do 270 rotation. Or you could fix it in Maya, like bow, so like 0, 270, and so that basically is what I'm dealing with here. Yeah, so it sounds like we just need to fix those in Maya so they have 0 rotation, otherwise we can't preview them properly. So this is kind of an interesting topic. Let's get to it.